It's a controversial website, to say the least. Ashley Madison promotes cheating. It was hacked 2 years ago, and millions of its clients had their information exposed, which, as you can imagine, was extremely embarrassing and harmful to many of them. Now, in a move to try and end a 2-year court battle, Ashley Madison is proposing to pay out $11.2 million to U.S.-based users. The website is owned by a Toronto-based company, hoping the U.S. courts will approve the settlement to consolidate a whole number of lawsuits that were launched against it. The cyber attack exposed the personal dealings, financial information of people. The company denies any wrongdoing. For more on what this means, though, let's bring in marketing expert Bryn Weingard. Bryn, good to have you with us.
Hi, Todd.
What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, I think, what an interesting time for this company, right? I think, they're certainly at a crossroads. They are only into the class action suit that was the Americas, so they're not into the Canadian suits that they will have to pay out. They also said, of course, this $11.2 million, or billion dollars rather, is significant, but it really is only about, $3,500 a person. And so they're only going to pay out, which is not a lot if you think about the lives that were affected or ruined.
What does Ashley Madison need to do to restore its image? I mean, can it even restore its image at this point, Bryn?
Yeah, I mean, I think, there are certainly a lot of folks against them, and there are a couple with them. There are 5 things, basically, that a company in this situation can do. And those 5 are, the first would be to say, listen, we've erred. We're going to keep our name, but we're going to change our business. And, then they would follow the 5 PR steps and say, invite dialogue, tell everyone how, badly they feel, etc. Second would be to keep their name, but then change their actual or rebrand, we call it, right? So change their name from Ashley Madison, which in fact is interesting because they changed the parent company name, but not the Ashley Madison name. The third thing would be to exit, to say, this is basically the height of our value as an organization, and so we're going to leave. We project that this is going to cause us further losses. This is the height. We are out of here. The fourth would be to say, listen, we still have really good brand equity in the Ashley Madison name, but we've sullied it in North America. So let's move. We're going to move markets, something like going to Scandinavia or Europe or England, somewhere like that. And then the fourth would be what most companies choose because of cost considerations, which is the status quo option, which is basically to say we're going to limp along. We think we have the financial solidity to be able to bear or weather this storm, if you will. And we think that ultimately our business is a good one that will go up from here.
How challenging do you think it is for this company to regain trust? And I know it's ironic to speak about trust when you're dealing with a cheating website, but when you're talking about this kind of major security breach here, how do they regain confidence of their users?
Yeah, I think it's such a good question, and it's sort of the million-dollar question, billion-dollar question in this case, right? I think ultimately what they're going to have to do is come out with some level of apology. One of the things that's very highly noticed with this $11.2 billion payout, they've agreed to pay, but they haven't apologized. And while they did some of that back in 2015 when the breach happened, and in 2016, they really haven't done enough in the consumer's eyes, and certainly according to some of their critics. So they're going to have to apologize. They're going to have to come up with messaging that's obviously, authentic, that sounds as authentic, noticing as an example that they backed away from their original tagline, which is that life is short, have an affair, into find your moment, things like that really change how they are approaching the market so that they do have a voice with the consumer, so that effectively they're less hated. The truth is that if you count the groups for them, loyalist users and their stakeholders in business, and the groups against them, people like the 37 million breached users or consumer advocacy groups, cybersecurity protection offices, and what I call the moralists, right? The vast majority probably of the population who think what they're doing is morally reprehensible, they have more people against them than for them, so it's certainly a tall order.
Bryn Weingard, marketing expert, with the latest on Ashley Madison and their payout to some of their users. Great to have you on, Bryn, as always. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.